Once, there was a glorious king.
I'm streaming, by the way. Well, I just unmuted. Oh, you don't want me to stream? Whoa, look at all the experience! Do I get any more juicy stuff? No, that was it. Holy moly, that was a lot. Okay, so now you get to see all the new stuff I got.
But yeah, you got a couple of artifacts like Mercy of the Thunder and Bird or something like that.
Oh, I think I already had those.
Friendly reminder that Sam Wilson, the Falcon, has nephews. So not only is he Captain America now, he is also Uncle Sam.
Ha 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 ha. Ooh.
Yeah, that's one of them you just got.
Oh, that's a new one. I don't have that.
I don't know how you know what set it is, but...
It's for Pyro.
No, I mean, it's... Oh, never mind. It's the Witch of Flames. Okay, that's the set. 2-piece set gives you a 15% increase in pyro damage. So, I wouldn't say that's good for Amber, but it's definitely good for someone else.
Like Spearboo. Maybe Spearboo?
She uses fire a lot more than Amber does. That right there would be good for any electro user that you have. It's funny, any of the bow users you have absolutely fucking suck. Like they only have their elements from their abilities and from their charge shots. Their normal shots don't do jack.
Well, if you get constellations and upgrade their talents, then eventually they do, because that's what I've been doing with what's her face.
Dirt.
No, with her. So like with her spear attack, it drops like an icicle on the enemy.
Well, yeah, when they start getting their constellations up, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 60% chance of forming and dropping an Everfrost icicle above them, dealing AoE damage equal to 80% of attack. Ooh.
And your base attack is 401. So roughly that's like, oh, I could just do that right here.
It's level 80. Oh, I should have gotten this yesterday.
It deals 320 damage if you were on that 60% chance. Oof. Oof. Woof. Woof.
Shush. And then Lisa, she's a mix of the Thunder Soother and Thunderbird sets. God, I could probably...
Well, you don't really need electro resist, but what does Thunder Super do?
What?
Like, what did the pieces for Thunder Super do?
I don't know. Okay, here it is.
It gives you 47 attack, but it crit rate, elements of mastery defense. That's great, but you don't need resistance because you are electro.
I still get affected.
Yeah, I know, but not by much.
Okay, how about this one?
Is that one Thundering?
It's Thundering Fury.
That one would be better. It just needs to be leveled up. That one's fine. It's part of the Thunder Fury. Thunder Super. Replace that. Do you have another Fury?
No. Well. Oh, I do. But...
Who's it on?
Razor, Kujisara, and Beto.
Is Kujisara,
Well, I haven't worked on Kujisara, so I could just swap that out.
is she electro?
Yeah.
Well, I would just give it to whoever. But now that you have a 4-piece set, it gives you the 2-piece set increase. Oh. You had one more. Well, at that point, it's pretty much a free game. You can give it whatever you want. Alright, so now it says increases damage caused by overload, electrocharge, and superconduct by 40%. It decreases your elemental skill cooldown by a second, but it can only occur once every 0.8 seconds. So, wait a second. That's pretty big. 40% is almost half plus. So if normally, let's just say normally you do 500 damage on superconduct. Well, it stacks another like 220, 225 on top of that. And that can occur once every like second. That means she'll be hitting fast and hard, but you have to mix the elements though.
Tape it. I don't know, I need to work on my characters.
You do. Whenever the asshole for pressing charges against my mother-in-law after she drove my dog into another town and got rid of him.
Let the show begin.
As one with wind and cloud.
Ready, steady, go!
Wind strike.
They'll shit, play around, okay, yeah, the dog's in the yard is the yard.
Birds call. Wind strike.
Come on, we can do it.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
She was saying, she starts screaming and yelling, saying that she's entitled to be in the garden. I told her to leave. The next morning, I went to go feed my dog, and that's when I realized I couldn't find him. I frantically searched everywhere, but the dog was gone. I called my husband. I'm stupid, I didn't know the passwords to access the cameras. He said that D got in the car with M, my mother-in-law, and sped off. I was pissed. I got my car, drove to M's house, see what happened. Apparently, she took my dog to the pound.
Oh!
This psycho stole my dog, drove it to the pound 30 minutes away. I called the pound and police. Next thing I knew, I was being yelled at by my relatives. What the fuck do you mean?
That's really fucked.
It's been getting quite busy recently.
Oh no, it's 9/11.
David,
What?
I'm streaming.
It's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fine. What the hell?
What?
There's a lot of water.
What an interesting thing to say. Ah!
Time to rock! Windblade!
Michael sent me a video of this hotel or this apartment building that was completely flooded. And when the guy opened the doorway to the stairwell, water was just pouring down from the upper floors. But then I'm like, I had to be honest with you with it. Because that was a video with a person reacting to it, you know? Like, it was like how duets or something.
Yeah.
It was on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed like the actual video that was good, plus a person's reaction to it on like the right or left. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care for the reaction, Because that kind of content is boring and it's niche. It's useless. Like, oh no, someone's sitting there going,
First set foot on Inazuma.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, not
I
that.
know what you're talking about. Their reaction.
So
Should I be able to
many
listen to
things
this?
have
No.
happened since then.
not too so sorry.
For what?
For everything.
Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on
And
our
making me
journey.
have to deal with Paimon in this
So,
one.
where should we go today? Huh? What's up?
Oh.
Is this good?
I'm not ready for this. Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh.
How'd you manage that?
I don't know. That's interesting. Whoa! Look at all these payment Oh, I think I know what had happened.
It was part of the cutscene.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Oh,
wanna talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little. Yeah. Let it rain. Windblade. Yeah, yeah. Nice and spicy. Get him.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's
Oh
dangerous.
yeah, your girl doesn't
Have you ever
a
met
vision.
someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision. That's none of your business.
Ooh, he getting smart.
Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase. Well, one
Sounds
thing's
like
for
you.
sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha.
Sounds like me how.
Right?
It just
Everyone has a feeling
What
though,
does?
that even if this guy
I forgot
can
what she
challenge
said.
Like
Kazuha to
Paimon
a
saying
duel,
what she said, or
he
Paimon
won't be
describing the
able to beat
person?
him.
Paimon describing the
Anyway,
person.
just
How about
be
you
on
get out of
the
here?
other side. We should go fight Kazuha
Hey.
right away and tell him to watch his back.
Teasing me.
I can tease you if I want.
Yeah, but when I do, you cry and moan and bitch.
Streaming.
At least I didn't call you the hard R.
Connection.
Read
Beyond already knowing
Actually, YouTube gets mad about that.
I don't care. I'm not popular anyways, and I'm not making any money. I'm not hurting anybody, right? Especially them.
But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any
This again?
danger. Paimon heard
What?
that the Crux
This
fleet is
again?
stocking up in
Ah.
Rito at the moment.
A
Let's look for
scammy
him there.
whammy. Yeah. Whee! Yes, give me your hidden cabbages and radishes.
Damn, I'm really unloaded into this man.
What are you talking about?
2 years ago, when I left Best Buy,
Oh. Let me guess, all he said was, I'm sorry you feel this way.
Yeah, like he says, you start off with, I'm sorry you feel that way. And then a little bit later, when I said something about...
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh?
I felt
He
like
must have
it
done
was
something
like...
impressive after all.
Like corporate bullshit speak.
Well, we took the small vessels in Torito on a routine supply run, but this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha.
As far as the
If it's because of that battle on the Zuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too.
I
don't see
dude, I had
this
like
kind of
6 other
attention.
people at the time who
Kazuha
could
keeps
have
to
easily
himself
said,
most of the time.
yeah, we felt
In fact,
the same
there are
way.
times when he doesn't even listen
Because
to the
we
captain.
don't just feel
She
that
just
way.
laughs it
You
off.
did that. There's a difference.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did.
That bastard.
I've heard
Damn.
bits and pieces.
Damn,
Something
damn,
about him blocking the
damn
Raiden
it all.
Shogun's Muso no
Damn,
Hito
you know.
Tachi.
Who's this idiot?
I don't know.
Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him.
I'll help you.
I thought they'd come to arrest him
Your
at
arm.
first. Turns out they couldn't have been
arm.
friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Stretch.
Just a little while ago, this sort of
I'm gonna twist you around like a fucking top.
Thank you. Guess we'll
Jesus
go
Christ.
pay a visit to the Tenryo Commission.
I was getting mad for a second.
I'll just
Oh,
stay
I was
here
gonna
and
say,
Water slide.
it
try and
could
fend
be,
off the crowd.
it could be me spamming you with Kirby memes. Ooh, it's a cutscene.
Oh?
Oh,
It's
never
you.
mind.
Your cutscene.
I thought it was like a legit cutscene.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're
that
very
new guy
welcome
you
to
were
listen in
talking
on the
about?
conversation. We invited Mr.
not
Kaidahara
new,
here to
no.
extend a gesture of goodwill
Oh.
on behalf
The
of the
different
show.
guy.
Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed? In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held
He
accountable for
literally
lax
said something
oversight.
like, you already
into
know
the
about the
period of great
Kaidahara
turmoil.
clan or
We
whatever.
later
So I
learned
said,
that
yeah, I
the
know
whole
a little bit.
misadventure had been
And he's
secretly
still
orchestrated by
explaining
the
it.
Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper
Holding my
nor
hand.
just.
I barely even
Considering
want to
Mr.
hold my own
Kaidahara
hand.
has
I don't
once
know
more
this
made
man.
an
Who are
outstanding
you?
contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty
Stranger
Shogun believes he
danger!
should not only be rewarded
not
for his
looking at your
achievements,
face.
but also receive recompense for the excessive
Who's he
punishment
looking
borne by
at?
his clan in the
Oh, the same
past.
thing I was looking at.
In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the
Don't lick
Fatui,
your lips.
we chose
You're
not
not
to
a licky
publicly
tongue.
release the findings of our investigations
Looking
into
at
these
that
matters.
pie.
We trust you
That
can
pie
understand
tastes
why
so
this was
delicious. It's
necessary.
emergency food.
This is
I
a
don't even
true
think it-
honor. I am
That's
delighted
the first
to be in
time
a
he's
position to receive
supposed
the
to say
goodwill of
the guy
the
was
Almighty
talking.
Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that
He hasn't
this
said a
magnanimous
word.
gesture does not come
He
without
just
some
let the man
strings
ramble on
attached?
like a fucking
I can assure you that
moron.
nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the
Don't
Kaidahara clan's
need you to
reputation and
take her,
occupation
you need to
restored, the
try hard
Kaidaharas
commission.
will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in
Look at that.
Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support
Wait,
of
what
the
deck is
Shogunate.
this?
I have grown accustomed to
Is this
life
the
among
black
the
deck?
elements.
It's the black
I
deck.
fear I would no longer
Hey.
feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride
It's
in the name of
Machine God.
Kaidahara and the art of blade
The stream
making
picked
for
that
which
one
it
up.
stood.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh, I
I
wanted
do
it
have a
to.
responsibility to restore their honor.
I have too
I
many.
sense some hesitation in your
Too
words.
many items.
Should you accept this
You need
offer,
to
I
stop.
imagine many of the malicious rumors currently
That's icy.
circulating through the populace
No.
will disappear.
I have
It's
too
not what
many.
we do here.
Malicious rumors?
For once, I have too
All
many
we heard on the way
Pokeballs.
here was so much praise that we
I've been
almost
dumping
wondered whether there
Pokeballs
was
left and
another
right.
Kaidahara in
I have too
town.
many.
What's your storage
Well,
at?
to some, the Muso no
Hold on,
Hitotachi
what?
is something that can never
What
be
number is your
defeated.
storage at?
They cannot accept the
Oh,
idea
I
that
thought
Mr.
you said story
Kaidahara really
chat.
parried the Shogun's strike.
600.
Girl, mine's 900.
Oh,
Also,
Lord, why is it
eyewitnesses
900?
saw him using the power of
I've
Electro in
been,
addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that
So-
Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But
Once in a
that
while,
doesn't
I'll
make
buy.
sense.
I
Using
was
a delusion
playing Magic
turns you old
Arena
and
on
frail,
here, and when I
Kazuha's
talk to you about pre-ordering or
That is
ordering
correct.
cards
However,
or buying
to
cards
some people,
for
the
the
idea of a
game,
single person
I
wielding
would
two
use. I
elements
would
at
do it on my
once is
phone.
a more
Well,
inconceivable
it was
notion
connected to
still.
Google Play,
This is just one of
and
many
in doing so,
similar
it gave me
rumors.
points
I am very
to
uncomfortable
use
with being
towards
the
something, and
subject
it
of
put me in the
public
gold
discussion,
range.
no
So
matter
now
whether
every
it
week
brings
I can
suspicion or
I can
stardom
claim
my
quote unquote
way.
points every Friday.
But perhaps
Oh,
if
that's
the
cool.
Shogunate is willing to
Yeah,
publicly
and I can
Do I
use.
support
have
me,
something like that?
this situation
No,
will blow
probably
over more
not,
quickly.
because Apple's stupid.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some
joking.
serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
But I've been using the
Please
points.
allow me some time to consider.
But you need to use a little
In
bit of
fact,
money too.
let us put this
So
discussion
I
on
gave
hold
myself
for the
coins one
moment.
time, and plus I used coins from when I
Well
defended
then,
gems.
what brings the two of
And
you here?
well, that's
Yikes!
pretty much all.
We nearly forgot about
Pretty
the
much
most
self-explanatory.
important thing.
Yeah.
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No, this puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaidahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back. This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you.
Don't hit me. You
I
know it's
must say,
true.
I am now very curious about this matter.
He will pin you
and I
down
will
and
also
take
need some
advantage
time
of
to
you.
consider your offer.
Yeah, by shoving
I will
shoving
first
his
join the
sword up my
traveler in
ass.
investigating the one who attacked
Oh,
her,
how much is on
then
YouTube,
give
by the
you a
way?
conclusive answer upon my return.
I'm checking now.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
My aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Ryuji!
Nope, that is not the right card. I can't seem to find this.
Maybe it's not loaded into the system yet?
That could be true.
Because it just came out.
Only one read.
Hey there! We'd
Yes.
You
Will you
if
eat my
anyone
pork
around
chops?
here has been looking for him. For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind.
What'd I do?
We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest.
Immediate
Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the
interest.
town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him.
Compensation.
To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just
Oh,
to
that's
gather
so
the information they
heartwarming.
want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Songo would have snapped them up in an instant.
So a great white shark got beached, and
Wait, even at that
so
price,
and there were
you
people
got
there. So they literally dug out a trench
Accept my
and
thanks
covered
for
the
looking
shark
out
and
for
like
my
just like
privacy.
splashed water on the shark, of course. And they literally
Of
dragged it
course.
out back
no
to
matter what,
sea.
we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing
Aw.
details of other
Even though
people's
it's,
day-to-day
I mean,
life just for
kind
the
of
sake of it.
dangerous.
Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is,
That's
it doesn't
nice to
surprise
see,
me that a
even helping
complete
a
stranger is
shark.
looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads. I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
For all you know, somebody's lying dead in a ditch.
I am well aware of
David.
your talents.
Or dying.
There is no
or
need to be
worse,
humble around me.
Sodomized.
In fact, I'm quite relieved that
You
you were the
need
one
God.
he targeted. It would cause
I
me
am not
great grief
religious.
to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim,
It's all your
this would
fault.
be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove
Why,
you
you
to
can't say
fearlessly
it?
raise your
No, I
blade
just
against
don't
the
like how it
almighty
sounds.
Shogun.
Oh.
You flatter me.
And it has too many letters.
Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though.
Yeah, did you
Let me
see
tell
this
you about
fucking
it just in
nebula?
case.
Holy shit.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
They took a
All
picture
right,
of this of the
Recently,
same nebula,
two
maybe
people went
like,
missing from the city at around the same
I don't know,
time.
maybe like 10,
One
20
of them
years
is a
ago.
pretty well-known
And
collector
someone did a
surnamed
comparison.
Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Thing's
Amanoma.
fucking inundated
Now
with fucking
there's a familiar
Kirby.
name.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
These fucking
Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smith.
Hada huda hada?
Two grown
I
men
guess I
going
didn't
missing
save
at the
it.
same
I thought I
time.
saved it.
How could you? You can't show it to me now.
Their
Now I
cases
don't
are
care
likely
anymore.
connected, but I don't
No.
know much in the way of details.
But it was
I
cool
recall this
though,
because
but
Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is
damn, I
skilled
didn't
with the
save
blade.
it.
Perhaps he
Okay,
is
well
the
that's
one
fine,
we're
but
looking for.
it's
Understood.
outstanding.
Though it seems highly
of
unlikely to
The
me.
the
comparison.
I
comparison.
neither know
Yeah.
this man, nor do I have any idea why he
Wait
may
a
wish to
minute.
attack
Avoid
me.
self-serve checkout lanes. Lawyer warns, or it could cost you thousands.
Sure,
Okay.
can't hurt.
Self-serve
We
will
never
get
know
you
what we
framed
might
for
find out
stealing.
along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your
Attorney
investigation.
and
I'll get moving shortly
influencer.
myself.
You can't be both. An influencer is like grime on the bottom of your fucking shoe at the end of the day. Oh, on TikTok, of course. Has alleged that stores are using security footage at the register to accuse innocent customers of theft.
Ah, if it isn't Kaede Harakazuha.
There are 3 groups of people
What
being
brings
charged
you
with
here
shopping
today?
fee. First group is those with the intent to steal. Those in
Yes, the
sophisticated ways to
Kaedahara
get
and
away with
Aminoma
this.
clans were
Weight
both
sensors
members of
and
the Raiden
cameras may seem
Gokuden.
difficult.
Historically, there
The
have
second
always been
category
deep
is called
links
theft by
between the two
mistake.
clans.
These are the
After
people
I
that
returned to
genuinely forgot to scan an
Inazuma, I
item.
visited Mr. Aminoma to pay my respects.
Yeah, I mean, that
I
happens.
mean, yeah, it does happen.
Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokuden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing
And the
arts in
third group is called
Inazuma.
truly
The
innocent.
techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokuden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So they'll begin watching hours of video to see the last person who checked out
It
with
is
the
a
Mario
great
Lego
pity
set because they were
indeed.
too short and
In the old
Xbox in.
days, we
Or too
each
short
had
and
our
Xbox in.
specialties.
And for some
And
reason they
just as iron
pinpoint that they think
sharpens
you did
iron,
it.
so too did
No,
we learn
yeah.
much from
If
each
I
other.
see you come, if I see that
As
we're
an
missing
example,
a Lego set,
the Amenoma art strives to
and I
emulate
see
the
you
abiding
go through a
patience
lane and
and
you have it in
determination
your,
of water,
I see you pick it
as
up on
it
the floor,
turns stone
and I see you
to
go to the
silver.
front lanes and you go
There
through
is
self-checkout,
nothing
you
mystical
don't
to our
scan it and it
work.
doesn't show up,
There is only practice.
and you walk out of the
Day
store
in
with it,
and
you
day
stole
out.
it.
Until both body
It
and
doesn't matter
mind
about your
have memorized
intention
the
or
craft,
not.
turning
Even if
each
you
motion of
unintentionally
every
steal something,
technique
it's still
into an
stealing.
intrinsic part of the
Why are
bladesmith's
people not
life.
understanding this?
As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called
Do you know how many people
the
I see
Ishin art.
constantly
That's right.
who come into
Ishin
the
art
store
strives for complete
and
harmony between blade and mind
they
from the
go to
moment that
self-checkout and
forging
scan all the
begins.
items and literally
For
just walk out
only a
without
blade
paying?
thus forged can capture and convey its maker's
I
thoughts
can't
and
give you a number,
feelings,
but it
and
happens.
eventually become an extension of its wielder's
The
will.
charges can land you up to a year
Indeed.
in jail. Yeah, because you stole
Most
it.
samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its
And then we
owner.
have to go through the
You
grainy
are,
video footage
without
to
a
try to
doubt,
determine which you bought
the
that
most
day.
worthy
Nope,
wielder
because
of an
my
Ishin blade.
I can see your
It
transaction as it's
gladdens my
happening. Thank
heart
you.
to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive
It's
and
fake
well.
news. I want to report
You
it. How do
overestimate
I
me.
report this?
My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before
These are
he
good.
left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
Is that what you're
There
talking
was a
about?
collector involved in the
Yeah!
disappearance too.
Someone did
Know
that
anything
comparison. It's
about
really
that?
cool.
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back. Yes, strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Unless you're at a fancy
Truth be
ass
told,
restaurant
we
that's
have
like
some information
super
that you may
expensive
find
for
to
the
be
rich.
objectionable.
Yeah.
The
Mandatory
person we are
tipping and
looking
service
for.
fees.
He attacked this friend
Mandatory?
of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only
Tipping
you seems
is
to match the
always an
suspect's
option,
profile.
but it is.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya
But
is
it's
not
like
that kind of
courtesy,
person.
you know?
He
Like
is
it's something that
humble
you
and
should do
kind.
morally.
Even his
Right.
training is done with the goal of calming his mind.
I mean,
He
I
has never gotten
can, you
into
know,
a
have
fight
like
before.
a $500 meal
Is that
and not
so?
tip the person.
Yes.
And that will
If
make
there's one
me
thing
an
I can
asshole,
say
sure,
for
but
certain,
I technically didn't have
it's
to
that
do that.
Yuya would never draw his
Right, but here's
blade
the thing.
without a very
Tipping,
good reason.
tipping for a
But
service
with
is
that
only
said,
a social construct
it's equally out of character for him to just disappear
for this country.
with
It
neither
is?
farewell
Yeah, it is
nor
not
fair
required.
warning. I also cannot know what
But
course of
places that
action
are
he might be
requiring
capable of if
tipping
coerced
should
or
just
otherwise
say,
compelled by
we don't accept tips
circumstances
here anymore,
unbeknownst to me.
and just
Anyway,
increase the cost of the
should you
food.
find him,
So that
please
way
let me
they
know
can
as soon as possible.
Don't worry.
people
You have our
the
word.
cost of the tips that would have been. But the problem with that is
From the
they're not
sound
going
of
to raise the
that,
cost. They're not going to
Paimon
raise their
doesn't
prices.
think Yuya was
I
the
mean,
one who attacked us as
they're
well.
not going to raise their wages.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
one guy says,
It
I
sounds
worked
as if
70
something happened
hours
when the two men met
and
each
I
other.
make $2.30 an
Let's
hour and
pay
I
a
should have
visit
gotten
to the Nagato household.
like several $100s or something like that, and I'm only getting $2. I'm like, well, you're probably only getting $2 because you're not, you're getting tips, obviously, but also you are paying something. There's no way that you're going to be sitting there and saying, I'm only getting $2 out of a $180 paycheck that I should have gotten. You're probably paying child support or some sort of fee, or you were like told by a court to pay, so you're lying. Because I have plenty of friends that are servers. I even have a coworker who's a server, and she makes $3 an hour.
And that sucks.
It does suck, but that girl make in one night of like 4 to 6 hours of working, she can easily make $300. That's over 2 times what I make in 2 days. I mean, in a day.
Yeah.
And that's just 6 hours. And then I did ask. I said, so what about your paychecks? Because I keep seeing everywhere that people are only saying, oh, I'm supposed to be getting $230 and I'm only getting $9. And she's like, I don't know what they're doing, but if I'm getting $200, I'm getting $200. And she only works at this place 4 nights, like 3 or 4 nights a week.
Then she must be having really nice people give her a lot of money in tips.
Well, she works at a place that's pretty decent. So in a 2-week period, she will be making roughly $90 in 2 weeks, which is not a lot. But we're talking 8 days where potentially she can make $100 in tips. So
If you're like the best server in the world and you kiss so much ass, then yeah, of course. And like you're really good with people and whatnot, and it also depends on the person too, because some people just don't care about tipping fairly. I say it's a job of luck.
We cannot afford to pay what we owe
she
right
said
now.
she can go home with anywhere between
My husband has
$100 to
gone
$200
missing,
in
and
tip
I'm
on
still
average.
trying to find
But doesn't
him.
she have to claim that on her taxes?
No, you misunderstand us.
She does.
We are here to help
but
with
she
the
only does
investigation.
if it's over a
We'd
threshold.
like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if
So
we may.
she says, I'll claim it
I see.
if in a week's
I thought
time,
the debt
when I get
collectors
my
had come to
check,
visit again.
that it's
I'm
either
sorry you have
equal
to see me in this dreadful
or
state.
over what I make.
Has some
But
new
since I
information
always
come
make
out?
over,
Do you
I
know
have
where
to
he's
play
gone?
Oh.
She literally gets like
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment.
$400.
We're still trying to
Everybody
find out as much as we
possesses
can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's
We'll stay here
struggling
and
to
harass
understand why
you.
a collector would be strapped for Mora.
Yeah, harass.
That's a long
Harass
story.
the pile of
Ever since
flesh
I've known
and
him,
meat.
he's been an avid collector of all
Right.
sorts of things.
The meat suit.
He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me.
You gotta bump
I knew
it.
nothing about the
Thank
items
you.
myself,
Don't pick at it. I don't know
seeing
what
how
it is.
enthusiastic and excited they made
Scab.
him, I was happy to believe that they
Scab's
were
gone.
just extremely important to him.
Scar's
Everything
guard.
was
Huh?
fine when we first got married,
Skarsgård.
but as time went
I was just
by, things
bringing out
changed for the
words.
worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Yes.
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance.
Ugh,
I'm
that's
happy he has a
creepy.
hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Damn.
And that led to an argument.
That shit happens in Genshin Impact
Actually, it
too? Oh my
didn't.
god.
What happened? I wasn't
Generally,
listening.
he's
She
a
gave
quiet
her
man
husband an
who likes to
ultimatum.
go
She
with the
says, if you
flow.
don't sell your
On most things,
collectibles
he
and
leaves
pay
the
off your
decision
debt, I
making
will
to me.
divorce you and take the
You
kids with
must
me.
understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what?
Portio drift.
If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I
You did
not
the right
indulged his
thing.
bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament.
Damn, whose feet is
I
for
also
that?
don't know if he had actually
What?
come to his senses,
I saw
or
some
if he
wooden
was simply
sandals in front of
angry
that door,
with
and
me.
they're massive.
The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame-no-Mayuya came to
Do you
purchase a
understand?
weapon from
I
Mr.
don't think you
Nagato.
do. You're not
During the
married.
sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. We're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I
We
know
have less
can
than a
work
week
things
until
out.
Stray launches.
Please don't get upset.
It's the game you play
There
as
could
a
be more
cat.
to this situation than meets the eye.
Kitty cat.
If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame-no-Mayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
So sad.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp.
And then look at him now.
Oh wait, is he making a worried face?
He looks full.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr.
My
Nagato's
Irish ancestors
collectibles.
watching me drink
Maybe
cold
he
beers on a
recognized the blade as
Monday.
a fake, or a well-known stolen item.
That's you.
Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy
There are no
everything.
vegan men,
But then
just
the Tenryou Commission began
plant-based
investigating
kings.
and uncovered some incriminating details, so
Beep,
they
beep, beep,
threatened to protect their
beep.
secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory.
No,
I
not
can't
quite.
imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time
I like
frame
how we're
seems
like
to
kind of
broadly
like
match, no other
ignoring the
details that we've
story and
learned
just
seem
doing
to
our own
link the
thing
two
here.
events together.
Because
Amenoma
Genshin's
Yuya
kinda
lacks a
boring.
key distinguishing feature of the attacker.
I like the
Namely, that he
stories,
is
but they're
principally a
so fucking
practitioner of the
long.
blade
There's
testing
just too
techniques
much
of Amenoma art,
filler.
not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
About what? On what? What do you mean?
Let's keep going, since
I
we've
just
come this
send
far.
memes and shit,
If
so
we can solve the
sometimes I find
case,
something together.
both
Here, I'll
Mr.
give 'em this.
Amenoma
I've sent
and
you
Mrs.
memes.
Nagato will be able to
Yeah, but
get
I'll
some
send memes
closure.
back.
Okay.
Because I am a meme.
Where should we
So all
go
you gotta do is
now?
go into the next room and
Let's
look
head
at
out
me.
of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Wait. During the raised discussion, one team leader said that if this particularly large team member would learn to shift her weight around being big, she can actually move faster and be a 3.
Wait,
Wait, what?
What?
there's something ominous in the wind.
Someone farted.
Only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Shut up, Paimon.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
That's why you've been growing up all your life to be a cart, just to
There's
find
nothing
out
here.
you're a practice wizard.
It's
A
gone now,
practice
but I
wizard?
can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami.
Sent me
Indeed.
shit.
But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
I don't get it.
So apparently Zoro went to hell, and he literally
So it's
crawled
an
out of hell
underground
to Sanji.
The force is
sorry.
definitely coming from down below.
That's
The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left
That
this
is
place.
blasphemy.
But the residue it left
Sanji?
behind still hasn't dissipated completely.
Wow.
Sanji.
Judging from the concentration,
How more American can you
I don't
get?
want to be
conclude that the
American.
Tatarigami
I'm
source resided here
sorry.
for a
This is
very long
absurd.
time.
Ah!
You deserve this act.
Ah!
I'm taking away your obesity rights. I'm just
Could
kidding.
well be that he was already under the influence of
And
Tatarigami
you
energy
forget
at that
about the
time.
fucking mobile scooter too.
I don't have one.
I'm making a joke because Americans, haha.
From what I've
Americans
been
fat,
told,
haha.
Yeah.
Tatarigami
Oh, I thought you were also
does not
making a
turn
reference to
all upon whom
Nikocado.
it preys into
You need to trim your
violent monsters.
toenails.
But
You need to
most
trim
will
these little...
Bro, I
develop
can't trim
stubbornness upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will.
I'll be going down to fucking blood and vessels and fucking asshole.
Mr.
You're
Nagato
dick.
had an interest in collecting.
Stop
to begin
touching
with.
me.
Your
I don't
little
like it.
piggies.
No!
The use of Tatarigami
I
could
don't hear the
expand
working.
became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself
I
in
see an
more danger.
oinker. I definitely see an oinker.
Step back.
Not you, I'm just...
I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
Okay, Isaac's finding some really good ones.
Oh, okay, that is good. Yeah, that is good.
My response, life imitates art. What's he looking at? Oh, what's he looking at?
I don't know.
Look at that,
Everything's buried in debris. I can't
There's
see
nothing to
anything.
behold.
It
Stop
looks like
it.
the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to
Oh
rubble.
boy. See if there's anything I can do. I'm bored.
That was too scary. Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out
The
at us.
warehouse
All we
boogeyman,
can do
Paimon, where
now
do you
is
come
keep
up with these
searching in the
things?
direction that the Tatarigami energy source left
She's an
this
eldritch
place.
creature that needs to
Two
be
ordinary
looked at.
humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you, too, will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
You're gonna play on your, Oh, smoke. Ooh.
From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here, and seems to be dissipating slowly. Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls. They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Prepare to be blown away.
It's...
I'm on fire.
Red stuff.
Red stuff? It's blood.
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago.
How do you know, Mr.
Well,
Archaeologist?
let's take a look.
My stomach kept bleeding. Oh no.
Whoa.
According to this letter,
Mystery.
a conflict arose because Ame no Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us.
Damn,
Whatever
he
traces there may
dead.
have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes, right now we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that
There
at
are
first
Game Boy
seemed
Advances
disparate and disconnected. It seems
has
that now we know
Target
the
brand
thread
on
that
it.
runs between
Oh.
them. I
never
have a
seen that
hypothesis
before.
that, if it's correct, not only explains the series
Well, I'm
of
sure they're
events
probably worth
leading to the
something.
two men's disappearance, but also
one's
zeroes in
like
on the
$100.
attacker's identity.
Wait, you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
That must have been
I
like a
believe
special
so.
edition or a
But
promo
it's
or
something
something
of an
that Target did a
outlandish
long time
idea.
ago.
I will only be
Not
able to
sure.
confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger. He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaede Harakazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the
Need
same
help
guy
putting
from
it in?
before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his
That's a nice
hand?
looking blade.
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Yuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought.
Animanity.
You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams.
So the blade can talk.
As a
The
descendant
sword
of the
can
Ahhhhhhh
talk.
clan,
Does that
you should
sound?
be able to guess our greatest regret.
Does that sound?
I presume
That
it has
doesn't
something
sound,
to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
It doesn't surprise me.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own.
That's
In her
pretty
conceit,
freaky.
The Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home.
May contain flashing images that may trigger
I seek but one thing, to face the
images.
full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin.
Oh no, it's getting bigger. Oh no. Oh shit.
So Amenoma Yuya was not your first
Oh,
victim.
you just missed it. Don't worry.
Tell me,
You're,
what
well,
happens
no,
to
technically
those
you're not
you've
missing
possessed
anything.
when you've finished using
Oh,
them?
are you looking at the thing?
Hosts? Who cares what
It-
happens to them?
it was glowing
They
brighter.
are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
They definitely updated this.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. And by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Ahhhhhhh Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Oh no.
Your body.
No one escapes my...
Submit to me!
Shred till I'm dead!
Eat this!
We shall rewrite history! We shall rewrite
It
history!
is the game being my own little house.
Nice and spicy.
Power cord!
Hey, go, go!
Join me and sever that divine light!
Wind strike! Clouds high. The birds call!
No escape! Booba, get them!
Oh yeah, I did it. Oh, that was
Do not
easy.
stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Oh no.
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost!
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger! And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal!
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art.
Okay.
But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard
Oh yes,
for
my
human
package
life.
will arrive
Even
today.
if you were to sever that divine light,
Out for
is this
delivery.
truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
What time does the mail usually be delivered?
Sure,
Like
you
late
inherited the
afternoon?
secrets of Ishin art.
Usually.
But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded
Oh, and
you as
then
mere
we can
tools
use
to do your bidding.
those
How
gift
could
bags
you
in the closet,
possibly
the purple
unleash
and
the
the
full
shiny blue
potential
one.
of Ishin art when you act
can
in
just use
perfect
those.
discordance with the principle of harmony
To do what?
between a
To wrap
blade and
Sam's
its
gift.
bearer?
Oh,
Silence, you blabbering fool!
I just don't have any wrapping
I
paper, and I
must
don't have tape, and I
achieve my
don't
goal.
have
This was his life's
tissue
dream,
paper,
and
I
the
don't
very
think.
purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede
You know
that
what
you
I
are
should
most
do? I should do what my
perceptive.
mom
You
did.
see my predicament clearly.
She had a big,
But you
long
also
storage
underestimate
box that she
my
could slide underneath the
resolve.
bed,
And
and
you
that's where she kept
should
all of
face
her
reality.
seasonal
Easy for
wrapping
you to
paper,
say.
gift bags, tissue
Facing
paper,
reality offers me
scissors,
nothing.
tape, and it
I
was
have
filled
no
with all
need
kinds
of
of goodies.
anything that would stand in
Bows
my
and
way.
ribbons and
Not
strings.
hesitation,
I should
not
do that.
self-reflection, and certainly
And it could be
not your
stored
so-called
very easily, too.
reality.
So I'll have to ask her where she got that box. I mean, of course,
It is
it's 20
pointless
years
to
old.
argue further, descendant of the
So
kind
who knows where
class.
she got it from?
If
Probably
you
from like
wish to
Michael's or
save this
something.
man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
I don't know what's gonna go on, so...
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Oh god, that sounded so dirty. He was like, take me into your head.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
Oh, it didn't possess him? Huh. Kinda figured that'd happen.
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash
I wonder if
its
that'll
true
be my
power.
blade. If that's
If he
something that's
wants to
given
avoid
me.
reality,
That'd be cool.
then
I
we
want
need to
that.
fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute. Paimon remembers hearing
Sate
about
the blade's
something from
thirst with the
adventurers
blood of the
guild.
child.
Since the Takatsukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held
That is
by
very dark.
Ronin ever
Are
since.
you okay?
Destroy the child.
All right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
Can you see me?
What should we do with him?
No.
Oh.
The blade
I'm just making it
says
look like I can
he'll
see
let
it.
Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't
yeah.
regained his own consciousness yet,
Oh.
he is not in any
see it for
immediate
nose.
danger.
And I can see
Are you sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
all the guns are the same in this game. Thank you.
Are you surprised?
Kinda. There's a world in here called Lust.
Ooh.
It's a dance.
Ooh.
Adult only.
Ooh.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Lucky day.
One with nature.
Oh, take it to memory lane and relive your evil phase.
Let's get down to business.
The wind knows me.
As one with wind and cloud.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange.
I don't like it that it takes so long.
Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Let's get down to business.
Into the wind. Fine.
Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves.
Adorn my night.
The wind knows me.
There's more.
Into the wind.
The fairy. The fairy.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amano Mayuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal. Into the wind. The wind knows me.
Clouds high. The birds call. Time to get...
One with nature.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight!
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly
there's a
wield
chair
power
next to
to
you.
rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Hey!
The wind knows me. One with nature.
As one with wind and cloud!
Into the wind.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is.
Oh no, children, can you hear me?
Reach that level of
Oh,
glory.
okay. What game are you playing?
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenome Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Ahhhhhhh Mayuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Ahhhhhh Mayuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all
A secret base.
When I was first forged, my maker was
Sounds like
already
you're playing
terminally
Roblox.
ill.
Roblox.
He told me
No.
that he had wanted me to have the grandest
Stupid.
opening
He's
battle.
not really responsive.
Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Well.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin Art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma Art, Amenoma Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
The wind knows me. It's fine. One with nature. The wind knows me. One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night. The wind knows me. That hurts. One with nature.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone and not let them stain the legacy of Isshin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Isshin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedehara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
It's Yuya!
Age to be
You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you.
Venues.
It's all thanks to
How old
them
do you
that I
have
was
to
able
be?
to return safely.
To have a Facebook account, you need to be 13.
They didn't
A
sound like they were
prized
13.
Isshin blade. Turned weapon that
Well, you know,
controls the
kids can
human
lie,
mind.
and parents don't care.
Yeah, no.
Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live.
Okay, so he didn't die.
And now that Yuya
I
is
don't know what you're
back,
talking about.
The
it
guy we
seems
thought
like the
that
final
his,
ending to this story
stomach was cut
is a
open and we
happy
thought he
one
died.
after all.
I don't even know what
I
you're
think I
talking
know
about.
what you
Yeah,
need
it was
to
the
do.
beginning of the
What's
story.
wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me
So
for a
today
brief
we had two
moment.
guests that were playing around on our electric carts.
No
Usually
way!
I don't report it to
Hasn't it
Ace
learned
because
its
I don't care
lesson?
that much, but when they
He
started
tells me that he's thought of
doing
another
too
way
much, it
to
gets
fulfill
annoying.
his maker's
They were in the
wish.
way so much.
And he
They
assures
never
me
said,
that he
"Excuse
won't
me,
use
or
my
my
body
bad."
for
They
anything
started playing bumper
nefarious.
cars.
I have decided to let him do it.
Oh, the blade looks. Whoa, what's wrong with the blade?
Oh, it's done.
Guess there's nothing we can say to change your mind, huh?
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later.
His
Okay,
anger's
I am
calmed.
ready. Let us
He
begin.
was beaten.
Please, stay true to your promise.
Oh, why are you so close to the camera, bro? Oh.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes, the cost is my entire consciousness.
Oh. What? What?
You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Isshin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Isshin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Isshin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all.
So it looks like they were playing both cards that they let you conspirators to end.
Strong in my mind.
One girl ran into an impact and knocked everything off the shelf.
Kagotsurube Ishi. This name is now yours to keep.
Ooh, that's a nice looking blade.
Rest in peace.
Oh, well, where are the parents in all this?
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that
I don't know, I
order.
don't care.
His consciousness will
that what they're-
disappear forever after
Does anyone have
fulfilling
a
the
code for women in the
bladesmith's
soldiers
wish?
if they feel comfortable from guests?
Kagotsurube Ishi.
Stranger danger?
It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
No
The
shit,
same
Sherlock.
fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand.
And you could, and
Perhaps
you're
this is
at
a flaw
Target
in
all the
my
time. You could
personality.
do it. Well,
I've
kinda.
always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest
still
to
have
face the
Shopkick,
gods
too.
and
It's not
trace your
updating.
sibling inspires me in the same
I'm
way.
just stuck on the screen.
After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
It loaded for me.
I bet it
I will
did.
continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you
I'm
need
just gonna
it.
re-download it. Oh. Okay, it hasn't updated at all. It still had the old thing.
Wait, shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Wait. Sometime this month we should be getting information about the new Pokemon games. Just so you know.
Scarlet and Violet.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
A sweet looking blade.
Kagotsurube Ishi. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events,
'Cause
I was
that's
able
his
to
pose
recover
in the
and
main
restore
screen.
him.
Like
I
when you
also
go like
promised
enhance your
him that I
weapons
will
and stuff.
continue to study
They all
and
take a
pass
pose,
on
and
the
that's probably
secrets of
his.
Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Oh, I do get it. It's mine! Wah! When a normal charge, will whip out healing gale, doing the aiming. Ooh, wow.
Daily AoE equals 180% of attack. Is it the attack of the sword or the attack of the character? And increase in attack by 15% every 8 seconds. So, right off the rip, that sword is ridiculous. 180% AoE for 180% of attack. Let me look it up. Just to be sure. What's the sword called? It's
Kago Surubi Ishin.
yeah, I'm not even gonna try. Darn, I do have to put it in. I don't want a description. I just want to know how it happens.
I hear you've got a job for me.
Don't disappoint me.
We'll need a strategy.
Ooh, look at all this sand.
Damage dealt by talents. No, stop it. The damage dealt by talents, constellations, special powers.
David. Ah!
So the formula is base damage times special multiplier plus attack damage. 1 point, 1 plus 1 damage reduction per target, multiplied by defense multiplier of the target, and the resist multiplier by the target, multiplied by amplified multiplier.
Oh my god, what?
That's damage.
What did you just say? I have no idea. David, stop farting.
So in this case, it's counting base damage and special multipliers. So in any case, who you give it to her? All right. So the sword's base attack is 109. Its attack also adds 15%, 0.9, whatever. I don't understand what that means. That's base damage. So if you go to the Traveler, oh, you already did the thing. Can you still level it up?
Yeah.
Just max it. I know you can. You have plenty of shit for it.
Well, I don't want to use these 2 items, so I'll just...
So you can't...
Because this is all I have.
That's fine. So you can't use, oh, 3 stars. Okay. Anyways, this is fine. Alright, so go to the Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Your attack is 1,000. Alright. So that's what it bases the multiplier off. Because if you change weapons, so it's 1,002. Go ahead and change your weapon. Change it back to whatever it was. Which is probably that level 80 blade up there. Alright, now go back to the Travis attributes. See how the attack went up to 1,265?
Yeah.
Alright, that's what it's basing your total attack off, which means that if you go back to that Ishin blade, it stacks 180% of the 1,002 for its special ability, right?
Oh, okay.
Go back to Ishin because it's actually probably stronger. When a normal hits an opponent, it whip out a human gale every 8 seconds, dealing 180% of attack. And it increases your attack for 15% for 8 whole seconds. So, if you want an idea of how much damage you're doing, first, it deals 180. So, that human gale does that much damage for AoE.
Oh, okay.
But on
That seems like a lot.
Yes, and on top of that, you're also getting your attack is increasing to that for 8 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Just for now.
Right, because I have to work and enhance the sword.
Right, once you max that sword out, the numbers are going to be drastically different. The percentages don't change, but the overall number does. So even though you're attacking for, let's say, 1,100 attack for 8 seconds, that's great because that actually puts you over the threshold. However, you still have to include the multiplier resistances, the of your opponents. You have to include those numbers.
Yeah.
So overall, you'll probably be going like anywhere between 2 to 500 damage depending on who you're attacking.
I got him! Dude!
What?
I got a new character! I got this guy! This is a new guy!
Oh, he looks just like the other one that you were just playing. Is this one of those pity ones?
I don't know who he is. He's new.
Sam said that sometimes they give you pities.
Oh.
So it might have been a pity. But didn't you want him?
Well, no, not really, but it'll suffice.
Did you want him?
Yes. Yeah, she's a 5. I know. So let's check out this dude. Who's he? Ugh. No, he is a spellcaster.
Really?
And he's an animo guy.
I was about to say that just now. He's animo. Do you have any animo wizards?
Sucroses.
Guerrilla tactics. Defeating an opponent increases movement speed and attack for 15 seconds.
Well, I just gave him that because that's what I already had.
Oh, that's the twin death fight. Okay.
Yeah, he came with this.
Oh, that's just a joke. At that point, that's just a mouse.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Yeah.
As I get stronger.
Ning Long?
Oh, well, that's a consolation, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's a constellation. She's not new, technically. But that's cool. I can give some love to Ming Wong. I also need to get more experience because I am drained. Are you laying down? Okay, I'll be quiet.
The victor has been decided.
Hold the line. Windblade. Covenants of the Deep. Windblade. Prepare to be blown away. Judgment. Allow me. Yeah. Windblade. Judgment.
Let's jam!
Lights out.
You're open!
Hold the line! Billowing surge! Yeah!
You're open! You're open! You're open!
Be gone!
Another test subject. Fry!
Punishment! You can't run!
I can't wait any longer!
I want to help. Let's jam.